The mutual fund industry in India is about to change in a big way. SEBI has just proposed a sweeping set of reforms that aims to make mutual funds easier to understand, safer to invest in, and more transparent for retail investors like you and me. If you've ever opened a mutual fund app and felt lost among names like value, contra, medium duration, and arbitrage, you are not alone. Over the years, the mutual fund landscape has become unnecessarily overcrowded. Funds with different names often end up doing the same thing, and for a regular investor, that is confusing and risky. But now SEBI wants to fix this. Here are the 8 big changes that could redefine mutual funds in India, and if you are a mutual fund investor, you need to understand what is coming. Hi, I am Pranshumaan and I make financial education videos that simplify investing. If you want to master mutual funds from scratch, from basics to advanced topics like fund categories, taxation, and exit loads, check out our full mutual fund playlist. The link is in the description. Also, join our Telegram group for resources and updates. It's free. Now let's dive in. Number 1. Fund houses can now launch both value and contra funds. Earlier, an AMC had to choose between offering either a value fund or a contra fund because the two often ended up buying the same stocks. But under the new proposal, both can coexist as long as their portfolio overlap stays under 50%. This will be checked regularly, and if the overlap increases, the AMC must rebalance or give investors an exit option without charges. This forces true differentiation in strategy and better accountability for fund managers. Number 2, a second scheme in the same category with conditions. Fund houses currently offer only one scheme per category, one mid-cap, one multi-cap, and so on. But now SEBI wants to allow a second scheme only if, first, the original scheme is at least 5 years old, second, it should have over 50,000 crore in AUM, and third, the new one should follow a similar strategy. Also, the old scheme must stop taking new money and the new one cannot charge higher fees. This ensures that AMCs don't just launch copycat funds to collect more AUM. Number 3, clearer names for debt funds. Debt funds are notorious for their jargon. Short duration, ultra short duration, medium duration, and nobody knows what these mean unless they are a finance nerd. SEBI wants to fix this by replacing duration with term and adding the actual investment horizon in the name. So for example, instead of medium duration fund, you'll see something like medium term scheme in brackets 3 to 4 years. Simple, clear, and aligned to your goals. Number 4, sectoral debt schemes, a new category. Just like equity funds that focus on specific sectors, SEBI has now proposed sectoral debt schemes. These funds would invest in one sector, let's say banking or infrastructure, but with clear safety rules. At least 80% should be invested in that sector, minimum credit quality should be AA plus or higher, and maximum 60% overlap can be there with any other debt scheme. So you can get focused exposure without compromising safety. Number 5 is cap on portfolio overlap in thematic or sectoral funds. SEBI found that many thematic or sectoral funds, despite bold marketing, often end up with identical holdings. So now overlap between such funds will be capped at 50% except for large cap schemes. If the overlap goes beyond this, the fund house must fix it or offer you an exit. Number 6, gold, silver, and REITs are now allowed in more schemes. Until now, fund managers had limited flexibility on what they could do with the leftover part of the portfolio, the part which was not bound by category rules. SEBI now proposes to let them use this portion for gold ETFs, silver ETFs, REITs, InvITs, debt, and money market instruments. This gives managers more tools to manage risks and returns without breaking the core promise of the fund. Number 7, life cycle goals based fund of funds. Now, this one is very interesting. SEBI is introducing goal based life cycle funds, which are fund of funds with a defined glide path that is perfect for long term goals like retirement or buying a house. Here's how they'll work. In the early years, there'll be 100% equity, and closer to maturity, there'll be a shift to hybrids and then to debt. There'll be optional lock-in periods of 3 years, 5 years, or 10 years. And at maturity, funds can roll into the next scheme with investor consent. It is passive, goal-based investing done right. Number 8 is cleaner definitions for arbitrage funds. Right now, arbitrage funds can invest in equity and also in debt, but SEBI found the debt part was often misused. Now going forward, arbitrage funds can only invest in government securities under 1 year maturity, repos backed by G-Secs, and this limits credit risk and keeps the product true to its name. There are a few more cleanups, like equity saving schemes must keep both equity and arbitrage exposures between 15% and 40%. The term fund will be replaced with scheme across the industry to avoid brand confusion, and SEBI has also clarified that these changes won't alter the 5 main fund categories, which is equity, debt, hybrid, solution oriented, and others. But what it will do is enforce sharper boundaries, clearer names, strict oversight, and less scope for fund houses to launch gimmicky clones that confuse or mislead investors. Now, these are proposals, and SEBI is seeking public feedback until 8th August. But if even half of these go through, the mutual fund space in India is going to look very, very different and better. If you're serious about understanding mutual funds, now is the time to learn. Check out our full mutual fund education playlist where we break down categories, performance matrix, taxation, switching strategies, and a lot more. Join a Telegram group where we help people make smarter money decisions with mutual funds, stocks, and financial planning. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe, leave a like, and share it with someone who's investing blindly into mutual funds. The industry is changing, and you should be prepared.